we've been looking into doing solar for a couple of years now. We've had discussions going back and forth with our electrician, Brian, at Alternative Electric. And then Rachel, who was our project manager, found a program through Consumers Energy that offered us the opportunity to we put in the expense up front to put in the entire system. And then for a period of 15 years from the day we start putting power back into the grid from our solar panels, for 15 years they're going to buy back that power at 1.5 times the rate that they sell green energy to consumers who sign up for the green energy program. And that extra half of the, extra 50% of the rate is for us to recoup our investment. So that's the incentive that was involved with the program. So we're not doing it, as something to add to our bottom line. We're doing it as a long-term investment in green energy that we're not rich enough to just write the check to put in solar power and then just, one for one. This is a partnership with consumers where they are going to help us recoup that expense over a period of time. And if it's really sunny, we'll do great. And if it's not sunny, we may not get our whole investment back, before 15 years, but we should. And so yeah, just a nice incentive to help us be able to afford, the upfront cost, because we know we're going to get some of it back. So the way that I see this playing into the economics of ELFCO is that long term, we own the building and we pay power, to consumers, energy, and so what I see is an investment into the infrastructure of our building. Say ELFCO were to move, we've got this building that has, as part of it, something that's feeding power back to the grid. So that's that's a selling point to the building, should we want to ever sell it. Should we stay here, if this is where we're at 15 years from now, then at least we've got some infrastructure that's there that we can offset some of our energy with the energy that we're producing and putting back into the grid. So either way, we're going to be in a better position, over the long term than we were had we done nothing. Yeah, Brian Benton is a local electrician who owns his own business. It's called Alternative Electric, and the alternative in it is that his interest is in green energy. So he actually approached the co-op. And years ago, when ELFCO was having some financial issues, but we had some work that we needed done, Brian was very willing to jump in and help us out and do it at a fantastic rate, and do really quality work. So we've always, since I've been here, we've had this really good relationship with Alternative Electric, and we've been just chomping at the bit to find this bigger project that would help him highlight the stuff that he ultimately wants to do with his business, which is really focus on green energy and providing that in a really usable manner. So that's this is sort of a nice symbiotic relationship that now we're in a position to help him highlight his skills, where in the past he helped ELFCO survive and highlight what we do.
My name is Brian Benton. I'm from Lansing, Michigan, and I am an electrical contractor. I've been a contractor for 7 years. I've been in the industry for 15. I have a couple of degrees from the Lansing Community College, and I went through 5 years of training with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Yeah, well, it's always someone as a kid playing with things, mechanical, so it's applied science. Electricity is a interesting way of, applied science to how we live in the modern world.
Semiconductors conduct under certain conditions and not others. Whereas aluminum, copper, silver, gold, metals like that conduct all the time. Other substances can be biased, as it were, to whether you want them to conduct or not. As opposed to other materials, they just won't conduct at all, no matter what.
Why alternative electric?
The idea for alternative electric was that a name that would encourage people to think of alternative energy sources and a different way of from the standard contractor.
If someone was to ask you why solar, and I'm sure they have, what would you say?
Energy diversification is important, where we're getting our energy in the future. Solar isn't the complete answer, but it's part of the equation. It has no moving parts. So solar is going to be a little bit more of a robust installation as far as lower maintenance. And without the moving parts like a wind turbine in a dense urban environment, you're not going to have something that'll disturb your neighbors in the same fashion that a wind turbine might. So solar has many applications where it has advantages in that regard. Michigan is still behind the curve, and part of that is economics and politics as far as diversifying their energy sources. It's moving in the right direction, but it's not a leading edge state as far as that's concerned.
Solar and wind are things that we're interested in, and as more environmentally sustainable sources of energy, and so to be able to help grow that general in the same way that we don't have to sell all the organic produce that gets sold, but we want to help farmers who produce organics. We're helping a power company produce a better form of power to offer to folks. So that's the win-win of that isn't the monetary part, but it's the societal good that we try to do by the way we operate our business at ELFCO.
So these will be mounted to the roof?
No.
No?
This is it.
Interesting.
Mounting to the roof would have required re-roofing the structure. Oh wait, we did that too. You would have had to go through and clamp to the structure, penetrate the roof and clamp to the structural steel. This is the ballasted system, which if you look at the already installed rack, has weights to keep it from blowing away. It'll also have wind blocks to decrease drag, to minimize, by decreasing the exposure to the wind, you don't have to put as much ballast to keep it at its 90-mile-an-hour wind rating.
Whether you look at it from a health of the environment standpoint and the air you breathe, or a national security issue as far as where we receive our energy sources from, solar is not going to power our buildings in the middle of the night until battery technology is vastly improved. But a percentage of it can reduce our utilization of other energy sources, and therefore is an important part of the equation for energy independence and environmental stewardship.
This whole system is 6.5 degrees off of the building access. That's why you'll see the odd angles. facing towards true solar cell, not how the building is oriented. And actually the exhaust stack from the bakery has a great example of what shadows can do.
Earlier this year, ELFCO was chosen as a recipient of the Tri-County Environmental Stewardship Award for businesses. And so we're pretty excited about that. And they recognized our extensive recycling, our ability for folks who are shopping to limit their packaging by choosing bulk items, talking about the energy saving things that we've done in the store when we remodeled it last year, and then this solar project was a big part of what they noted when they were when they chose us for the award. So we retrofitted some of our old freezers with LED lighting. So it doesn't create heat the way other light sources do. It's much cleaner, brighter light, so products look really nice. And that was another one that we did in partnership with Consumers Energy. They helped us offset some of that cost. We've also put in, we used to have defrosters on those freezer doors. So one of the things folks, don't often recognize is that there's, those doors will frost up like your windows do in the winter if they don't have a defrost cycle every so often. And so we put in defrosters that only actually work when they need to work, instead of just coming on a schedule every so often and defrosting whether they're needed or not. So that was pretty cool. What else have we done? We put in, one of the big ones that we did with Brian at Alternative Electric was Brian designed and built for us screw-in LED lighting systems throughout part of the store that we remodeled, where we took out an old drop ceiling. And so he designed these really cool, they're really inexpensive, they're just outdoor light sockets so that we can replace our own bulbs. And then we went in with LED bulbs, and they're just hung off of a track. So Brian designed LED lighting that was inexpensive, easy, hand-built, but with simple materials, and then it just uses an outdoor light socket, and so we can just screw in and out our own LED light bulbs. And LED bulbs, in their ceiling are a super cost-efficient way to really light the building well.
Another way to limit wasted energy is lighting retrofits, and those can be done with just upgrading the technology to the newest, more efficient. And you can also, depending on the utilization of the structure, you can repurpose the lighting. Some of the modern themes are going away from a general lighting on say you had a retail space, and you may focus on a product-specific spotlighting where you want the customer to look, and also doing computerized control of the lighting so you're not using those when you don't need it. By using more efficient lighting technology, changing your lighting scheme from brightly lighting an entire space to spotlighting your product and having task-specific lighting, those two together can really decrease your energy consumption in a space.
You did some of that next door, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We changed the lighting scheme so that the remodeled area had product-specific lighting. The product is spotlit and not the ceiling or the walkways or other things that aren't There's enough lumens in the walkways where it's safe, but where it's lit, what draws your eye is the product that they're trying to sell. We've also done that in restaurants where it's task specific and it increases the atmosphere, but the electrical load radically decreased from the cafeteria themed lighting scheme that was there before. So you change your ambiance, change how you look at the space, and then also put in more efficient technologies and save money in the long run. I don't think there's any one perfect solution. I think it's all the solutions humanity can engineer to solve our problems with that, whether it's efficiency or diversified energy sources.
Sure.
I'd say that the restraining factor on implementing new technology or new energy sources is the price point at which you can deliver it to the customer. When are they going to get payback? When is it logical for them to abandon the old laissez-faire energy wasting methods that we used to use and upgrade for more efficiency? If a technology is cost prohibitive because they're only making a few of them and they're selling them at a high price point, a customer is not going to be able to afford to adopt that. And the same would be said for photovoltaic systems. The price on the panels has gone down radically in the last few years, and it's becoming more affordable. Without energy and rebates and incentives for efficiency or alternative energy, the industry is not going to get the jump start. Germany has a very similar climate to Michigan, and they're radically beyond us as far as photovoltaic generation due to incentives, because they've decided they want a cleaner environment. So it's politically for us to make the new technologies cost effective for the consumer, and then as more building owners move forward and adopt these technologies by mass production and competition, the cost of implementing them will decrease and become more affordable for everyone.
So I think the nice thing about this entire project, putting the solar panels on ELFCO, is that it's sort of the latest example of how what we do is look for ways to conduct business that meets the needs of the community, our shoppers and our owners, but it's also beneficial to the other people who are involved in providing those services. So we've got an electrician who's interested in green power, and we get to help him highlight his skills. We're working with the power company in a way so that they get to build the pool of green energy, and we get to invest in that, but also get back our investment over time. And then ultimately, it helps our shoppers, because down the road, when after we've paid for this investment, then we're going to be doing better. We're going to pay less for our power, and that's then something that we can pass on to folks who are shopping here. So again, it's that idea that we're looking for situations where everybody involved comes out better, and that's the difference between co-ops and other stores.
It's been a pleasure to work with the co-op because the type of work we're doing is tied in with the message of the co-op and what they're trying to achieve, and a better world for all of us. Better food, better way of living, and helping them achieve that goal has been a pleasure.
The concept in capitalism is very clear. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Somebody gets advantage, somebody gets taken advantage of. And I think co-ops and cooperation offers a different concept where everybody, can pull together towards a common goal. And there are ways. I mean, this is an example of how bunch of different entities, the electrician, the power company, the co-op, the shoppers, and the people who have nothing to do with ELFCO are all gaining something. And I don't see in this at whose expense that happens. And I think that's the difference, and that's what attracts me to the idea of cooperation, is that it's ways to meet our needs as individuals within a group with the help of others. We're not trying to gain what we want or need by taking it from somebody else unnecessarily. So, or through force, or in any sort of exploitative way.
I love co-ops, and there's something bright and cheerful about every co-op.
I think community is the most important thing. I grew up coming to the East Lansing Food Co-op, so I was one of the kids running around, spilling stuff out of the bulk bins.
Cheese they had today was delicious. I just love it so much. It was cheese that wasn't completely white and had dots in it.
My special favorite is baby bok choy. So every time I come to the co-op, it's like, is there going to be baby bok choy today? Because I love it. And today there was, so I was really excited.
I've been going to the East Lansing Food Co-op for 15 years, so I guess since I was a baby. She carried me around in that bag, I guess, and it was really embarrassing. But yeah.
You were happy.
When you buy local, you are supporting your friends and neighbors and cousins and aunts and uncles in the extended community, and the money stays in the community and rolls over in that community numerous times, building wealth within the community.
Plus, they're supporting local farmers, and I think that's a really good thing to do.
Well, it's an educational experience for me, but it's also a very pleasant way to meet people and to talk with people.
And co-ops are just fabulous. I mean, they take people and collect their individual abilities and collect them together and make them stronger for the common good. And if we did more of it, I think we would be a healthier society.
Our health is even more than what we eat, and that's the other thing about the co-op is it's offering a hand to be in community, at least at some level.
The motivation is not to make a profit. The motivation is to provide a service.
Yeah.
Co-op style. Co-op style. ELFCO is co-op style. Co-op that is local and community owned. Respecting fair trade and how your food is grown. When it comes to organic, we're your one-stop shop. Our list of priorities puts people at the top. Co-op style. Co-op style. Co-op that is local and community owned. When you come to visit, you should feel at home. To become an owner, it only takes one share. Bringing people together to show that we care. ELFCO is co-op style. Friendly people, local products, fresh food, organic, gluten-free, fair trade, community owned. Hey, local shopper. Hey, co-op owner. Fresh food, fresh food, fresh food.